Boxing After Dark is back, bringing you a doubleheader from Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York. Tonight, Hector Camacho Jr. puts his undefeated record on the line against former champion Jesse James Aleja. But first up, heavyweight action as Kirk Johnson and Larry Donald face off in a battle to position themselves for bigger things down the road. Coney Island is in the news once again thanks to a brand new minor league baseball stadium that's brought a lot of excitement to this fabled part of New York. Once America's summer playground, attracting over 25 million visitors a year to its legendary beaches, boardwalk, and amusement parks, Coney Island tonight turns its attention to boxing. So settle in and get yourselves together. It's time for Boxing After Dark.
All right. Welcome to Keithman Park, and welcome to boxing back in Brooklyn. Just 12 days ago, baseball came back to Brooklyn for the first time in over 40 years. Now boxing in 50 years. Welcome to Brooklyn and have a great night.
Thank you, Mayor Giuliani. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Boxing After Dark. I'm Fran Charles, sitting in for Jim Lampley tonight. Well, there certainly is bubbling excitement here in Brooklyn as baseball makes its return to Brooklyn for the first time in 44 years since the Dodgers departed. But we are outside tonight at the brand new Keithman Park, the home of the Brooklyn Cyclones, the single-A minor league affiliate for the New York Mets. But baseball's not the only sport making its return to Brooklyn. Nearly 51 years ago, Sugar Ray Robinson defeated Billy Brown in a non-title middleweight bout, the last major prize fight that took place here in Brooklyn. Well, tonight, Hector Camacho Jr. looks to send out a grand slam against Jesse James Aleja. Let's bring in now Larry Merchant. And Larry, for both of these fighters, Hector Camacho Jr. and Kirk Johnson, this is a major stepping stone fight. Does the fact that the fights are here in Coney Island, can that bring any added significance?
What it means basically is that if they win but stink out the joint, we can show and tell people something else. Such as, did you know that the hot dog and the roller coaster were invented in Coney Island, which was the original amusement park, which attracted amazements from all over the globe, the Las Vegas of its day. In fact, 102 years ago, the heavyweight championship of the world changed hands here in Coney Island when Jim Jeffries knocked Bob Fitzsimmons down and took the heavyweight title from him. Jeffries later going on to be remembered as the Great White Hope who fought Jack Johnson. In that fight that Sugar Ray Robinson fought here, by the way, Fran, you're a youngster, you wouldn't know these things, but he was guaranteed $1,000 by a radio station if the fight went the distance. He collected. Makes you wonder how much money we'd have to pay these guys to guarantee that these fights won't go the distance.
We probably couldn't afford it, Larry. Before we get to Camacho Aleja, first up is a heavyweight elimination bout between undefeated Canadian Kirk Johnson. He's taking on Larry Donald. Let's bring in veteran trainer Emmanuel Stewart. Now, the winner of this fight between Johnson and Donald, they become a mandatory challenger for the winner of Holyfield Ruiz 3. Emmanuel, in your estimation, can either Donald or Johnson be a real force in the heavyweight division?
Well, Fred, first of all, it depends on who wins the fight. It's two different situations. If Larry Donald wins, it's going to be much more difficult to say because he hasn't been out there and he's coming off of a very bad performance his last fight. On the other hand, Kirk Johnson is coming off of a very impressive win, knocking out Oleg Moskov on the show. He's already been considered an opponent for Lennox Lewis. As a matter of fact, he was supposed to have fought instead of Hasim Rockman in the last fight. And being that he's undefeated, and if he wins this fight, he's going to be a very formidable contender for everybody. Okay, and a big force in boxing in the heavyweight division.
All right, Manny. So Johnson could be a force to come. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now between Kirk Johnson and Larry Donald. And the only major difference between the two is the age. Donald, 5 years older than Kirk Johnson. Virtually every other statistic, though, both fighters relatively the same. And now for the rules of the bout, let's send it over to our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Kirk Johnson, Larry the Legend Donald fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. You go to the scorecards after 4 rounds in case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Fran.
All right, Harold. All right, Larry, let's take a closer look at Larry Donald.
Fran, Larry Donald was the American super heavyweight at the 1992 Olympics. At the time, he was a poetry spouting, fancy dancing heavyweight. But 2 years later, he fought Riddick Bowe, and perhaps that was too soon, because that was the low point of his career when Bowe slapped him at a weigh-in and then slapped him around in the fight. He was 1 round from oblivion in his last fight against journeyman Obed Sullivan, after winning all of his fights since '94 and drawing in one, when he knocked Sullivan down in the last round to gain a draw and maintain his position as a mandatory challenger.
It's been 220 days since that fight with Sullivan, the second longest layoff in Larry Donald's career, so we'll have to keep a close eye to see if there's any rust on Donald as he gets in the ring with Kirk Johnson. And Larry, let's take a closer look at Kirk Johnson.
Kirk Johnson was also a heavyweight in the 1992 Olympics, following another Canadian-raised fighter named Lennox Lewis, who won the gold medal in '88. He got here by knocking out Oleg Moskiev in a sensational upset late last year, making his statement as a serious contender in the heavyweight division. One of the interesting things about him is that he admits to the nerves he has before a fight. Watching cartoons, talking to his 97-year-old grandmother to calm his nerves, but he says at the end of the night, it gives him a nervous edge.
Quite an interesting formula. As you watch tonight, you can log on to hbo.com/boxing, where you'll find our Boxing Alert newsletter, keeping you up to date with the latest boxing news, fight announcements, schedules, and more. Don't forget to check out the latest installment of our Where Are They Now series, featuring the Rahway State prison fighter James Scott. Once considered a top light heavyweight contender, Scott is serving a life sentence for murder. All right, let's send it inside now to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official pre-fight introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eastman Park, Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York, and HBO Boxing After Dark. All brought to you by America Presents in association with DeBella Entertainment and your king of beer, Budweiser. This next bout, Kushner Productions. And it is a WBA elimination bout. The 3 judges assigned to ringside are Tommy Kazmarek, Oscar Perez, and Fred Yusi. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Jimmy Stanta. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed with black, and weighing in at 238 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 38 victories, including 23 knockouts with only 1 loss and 2 bouts ending by draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from Cincinnati, Ohio, ranked number 3 by the IBF and the WBA number 4 ranked heavyweight in the world, Larry the Legend Donald. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red, and weighing in at 239 pounds. This Canadian Olympian now has a professional record consisting of 31 victories without a loss, including 23 knockouts and 1 bout. From North Preston, Nova Scotia, Canada, here is the undefeated WBA number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world, world, Kirk Johnson.
Come on, Larry. Let's go, Larry. Come on, guys. Come on, Larry. Let's go. Good evening, gentlemen. We went over all the rules in the dressing room. Let's touch gloves and have a good, clean fight. Good luck.
The New York Commission, which has been criticized widely for various gaffes, is under particularly heavy fire for its alleged mishandling of a fight 12 days ago that resulted in the death of light heavyweight Beatavian Scotland. We will try to scrutinize all members of the commission tonight to make sure that they are doing their job. Already we have found one gaffe, however. The smallest ring allowed by their rules is 18 feet. We measured this ring at 16 feet 3 inches.
Which neither heavyweight could really be in favor of. They like the room to move around.
Well, basically, I'm leaning on.
Larry Donald will show you a jab primarily. Doesn't get his right hand in the mix as much as his trainer Aaron Snowell would like.
At this stage right here, Johnson is setting the tempo for the power punches, and that's very important in heavyweights, because whoever lands first can end the fight, in particular in a small ring like this. Mostly Donaldson is reacting after Johnson punches first.
Johnson going to work to the body, the midsection.
Donald, however, Emmanuel, is not moving as much as he used to, perhaps because of his age and his weight, but he's trying to stand his ground and throw stiffer punches.
That's a good point you mentioned, Larry, because normally he's been a flashy boxer, more of the Muhammad Ali type, and now he's fighting more stationary.
Johnson will show you good speed in the hands for a big man.
Both fighters are punching with good speed and power for big guys. It's really amazing. Kirk Johnson seemingly is trying to line up Donald for a good straight right hand. And at this stage, Donald is working effectively with his jab more.
Johnson doing a good job of concentrating on the body of Larry Donald.
But Johnson is shooting the right hand to the body, primarily to try to set up Donald for a straight right hand on the chin. Showing marks on the right side of the cheekbones at this stage right now.
3 seconds.
Which tells you that the power is coming to Flurry here in the first round.
That's right. This has to make it have been a very exciting heavyweight fight.
Take a deep breath. Get in there. Deep breath. Okay, that's a good pace. But just take your time, baby. Take your time. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Just take your time, baby.
Right hands here, okay? Just like we practice, all right? Now just pick your speed up a little bit with your jab. Get over to the right hand side, jab, jab, jab. That right hand sitting right there, pull his hand up. All right? He's trying to hit you with overhand right. You catch that overhand right, he's sitting right under there for a right uppercut. Speed, not power. All right?
Sit on the stool. Breathe easy.
There you go. Just got to pick your pace up just a little more. Let's go, guys.
fighters doing away with the quote-unquote feeling out period. According to our CompuBox numbers, Johnson landed 18 of 53 total shots, while Donald landed 8 of 43.
Most of Donald's punches are mainly the jab that he's landed. He hasn't landed that much with the big shots, right? But he's very effective with his jab at this point in time.
Sit back, don't push in the break, both guys. Let's go. Don't do that right there. Don't do that.
Even though I pointed out that Kirk's main punch that he's trying to land is a right hand to the head of Donald, we can never forget that he has a tremendous cleanup left hook, which he knocked out Oleg Moskov with.
After he was hurt in the first round by Moskov.
Yes, the bell saved in the first round.
Donald refused to verify his trainer's comment that this was a do-or-die situation and he had to be more assertive. But he has been more assertive than we normally have seen him in the past so far.
I think the intensity that Kirk Johnson attacked him with helped stimulate that a little bit too.
Kirk Johnson doing a very good job of working the midsection of Larry Donald. Jabs, right hooks. There you see a perfect example of the 1-2. An attempt to wear the big man down.
And it's amazing that Donald is basically just still concentrating on his jab. Everything is off, and it's working very effective at this stage. Very seldom does he lead.
Big left hook from Larry Donald.
That could be a big factor in this fight if those guys keep shooting right hand. Whoever comes back with the cleanup hook is probably going to end up winning the fight if they keep shooting right hands at the same time.
Johnson making it very obvious where his bullseye target is here in the second round.
Manuel, it's almost as if he's expecting that Donald's head will be out of range, and so he's going to the body because he knows it'll be there.
That's correct, and he's landing very effective with that punch. Even though rarely does the fighter get knocked out with a straight right hand to the body.
Remember, I said 5 seconds, okay? You all right, baby, you all right. Come on, you did. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you fine. Don't get no real big hurdle with him, man. Just take your time. Pick him apart, Kirk. You can pick him apart, baby. How many paces? The pace is fine. But just pick him apart. And salute every once in a while. Salute. Don't give no quick shots. Take a deep breath.
That right hand sitting wide open for you. Once he jab, when you jab, all you got to do is jab, get down here, and that right hand comes over top like we practice. He's falling right into it. But keep stepping in with your jab. You're backing him up. You're doing better now. All right? A lot more quicker with it. Come on, man. All right? Come on, you can do this. Come on now.
10 seconds, let's go. Right here. Seconds out, let's go, seconds out. Stay there, wait a second. Wait. Okay.
Kirk Johnson avenged a draw to Alfred Cole some 2+ years ago. After that fight, he had surgery on his left elbow to remove bone spurs. He said he was in so much pain he had to get the surgery. But even to this day, he says he cannot fully straighten out his left hand, and when he bends his left hand up to his head, he can only bend the elbow 90 degrees. He says his elbow is about 80%, but it doesn't seem to be a factor tonight.
At this stage right now, Kirk Johnson has not been able to still find the range with power shots effectively against Donald. And so he's primarily punching at the body because that's the only target that he feels that he can safely attack, even though his ultimate goal is to land a big shot on top. And Donald seems to be very much into this fight, a lot more than I anticipated. He seems to be totally focused. His concentration seems to be tremendous, and he's functioning primarily from the jab, but I believe eventually he's going to add to that. But at this stage right now, the jab alone has made this an extremely competitive fight.
As Larry mentioned earlier, you just couldn't see it in Donald's eyes yesterday when we met with the fighter. But he certainly has come out with the sense of urgency that Aaron Snowell's trainer wanted him to display.
And that was a good move. That was the first time that he's been able to take advantage of this consistent pattern of Johnson throwing a right hand to his body. He came back with a jab to counter Johnson. And it's interesting that all night Johnson has did the same thing basically. And Donald has not really mounted too much of a counter move off of it other than just his jab.
Neither fighter has been anywhere close to the ropes so far, despite how small this ring is. This could be a 10-foot ring.
This ring is smaller than the ring at the Clark Recreation Center, which is only 17 feet. And especially when you consider the size of these two guys. The left jab of Donald again is becoming a major factor in this fight as it goes on.
Kirk Johnson not straying from his battle plan, which has worked the body. There's the overhand right to the head of Donald, but Johnson going right back to the body. We'll see if at some point it starts to have an effect.
5 seconds.
Now you're beginning to see that Donald is starting to take advantage of the predictable right hand to the body coming out.
Get back to boxing a little bit. You're slugging too much with him. Get back to boxing. Just moving boxing now. And he's going to open up for everything you want to throw, okay? Don't get it that slugging with him. Box him out. Box
Larry,
him,
we've talked about the body work of Kirk Johnson.
Punch in combinations. Let's see you punch in combinations, all right? Okay. All right, I want to see you dominate this round.
I can't recall a heavyweight coming out with such a consistent body attack early in a fight as we're watching Kirk Johnson work on that big body of Larry Donald. Will it pay off at the end of the fight?
Usually the straight right hand to the body won't knock you out, but it can consistently wear you down if you land it enough where it takes you.
But what does it do to the psyche of a fighter who keeps getting hit in the body over and over and can't seem to pull the trigger on the punches over those punches?
I think that pretty soon he's going to have to start doing something because he's doing the same thing over and over and over. And it's a very difficult punch to block because very seldom do anyone throw that punch on a consistent basis.
All right, let's bring in Harold Lutterman. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Fred. 3-0, 30-27. Kirk Johnson. I'm impressed by that left jab. You got to give him the 3 rounds on clean punching and basically effective aggressiveness. Larry Donald still trying to counter with a right hand over Kirk Johnson's left jab. Fred, listen, in the corner between rounds, Aaron Snowell, Larry Donald's trainer, is using a blanket to keep over him. It's cold out here, it's outdoors, and it's a very smart move. It's keeping Larry Donald warm, preventing him from getting cold.
But as this fight is progressing on, the left jab of Donald is becoming a bigger factor in this fight.
Larry Donald has never been knocked down in his 43 fights. And Kirk Johnson openly told us he's not looking for a knockout.
I don't know that the fact that a fighter has never been knocked down after having so many fights is a very big deal. Maybe it's because he hasn't been in there fighting hard enough.
And the quality of the competition, too, for the most part.
Point well made.
You fight good people, occasionally you're going to get knocked down.
Let's go. Step back.
dives in with a left hook to the head of Donald. Which fight plan will win out?
At this stage, the fight is getting closer and closer and closer because Johnson still hasn't figured a way to do anything other than the right, and he has not landed 2 consecutive punches together. And in fact, neither fighter have at this stage of the fight.
5 seconds, fellas. 5 seconds.
Larry Donald has been the aggressor in this round, but he hasn't landed many punches.
Gotta get fixed this ring.
All right. This Wednesday, HBO Sports presents the next installment in our Sports of the 20th Century series, Shot Heard Around the World. We'll look back at Bobby Thompson's 1951 home run, which won the pennant for the New York Giants. 50 years later, we find the Giants stole the Dodgers' pitching signs. Does this taint one of the most memorable moments in sports history? You decide. Shot Heard Around the World premieres Wednesday night at 8 p.m. only on HBO.
Right down, you're putting good pressure on him now. All you got to do is use your jab, 2 jabs, left hook, right hand, and back. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right? Stop trying to load up and punch. It's coming.
You have jabbing the board, you're doing everything. But I need a hook, a real good, pretty hook. Okay? Be first.
Maybe the difference in the corners, guys, is that Kirk Johnson is a Canadian, and this breeze is like a summer breeze.
It's a Canadian summer breeze.
To him.
Between rounds, Aaron Snowell, the trainer of Larry Donald, is using a blanket on him, and that used to be very common in years back when they had fights outside on a regular basis and chilly nights. As a matter of fact, during the fight between Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, the second fight, when the fan man came down and it was cool and there was a long delay, we used blankets on both fighters.
So Emmanuel likes the jab of Larry Donald, although he hasn't done a whole lot, though, to stop the shots to his midsection.
No, but he's reacted more now often when he gets hit with the right hand. He's countering a little bit with a hook sometimes. But Kirk Johnson is winning the fight because he's fighting more.
Yeah, what we see from Donald here is what Harold Letterman often calls ineffective aggression. He moves forward, but he's not doing enough.
But it looks as if, as the fight goes on, he's going to be a much bigger threat, and he's going to pick up and add to what he's doing.
Donald needs to do more of what he just did, which is land the overhand right.
But it was Johnson who landed the right instead.
That's the first right hand of Johnson that's landed the way he wanted to land it almost through the entire night. The single it had very little effect on him. If he had come back with his left hook like he did with Moscow, he may have something going for him.
I don't recall either fighter being on the ropes or having a clinch.
It's interesting, especially this size ring. A big factor for Kirk would it would be his left hook if he would add that to his repertoire.
Yeah, going back to what I just said, and I think that's a reflection of the importance of this fight to both fighters.
Yeah, I think you can see the intensity in their eyes. It's a very competitive fight, a very dangerous fight for both. You also the intensity and the power that they're punching with.
At this point, I just find myself wondering, is Johnson going to get full credit for all those clean body punches?
And for his aggressiveness also.
Donald lunging through now with 4 straight jabs. And Johnson firing back. Great action here in the 5th round.
And it's amazing, all of the action from Donald's point of view is strictly a left jab.
you go. Give him some water, Doc. That's all you got to do. That right hand, man. Moving fast, Larry. Put your head down in there and keep throwing them punches, man.
Don't blow your nose. Get his mouthpiece.
All right. There, you got that jab going in that right hand, man. Don't wait. Get it off. You're in.
Don't get careless now. We talk about that. Don't get careless up there. Don't get careless. You hit him with everything you throw him, but don't get careless because he's waiting to throw cracky, okay? So keep your hands up. When I say salute, get that hand up, baby. I'm not saying it just because you out there. You are, but I don't want you to.
Johnson hasn't been throwing combinations, but he did land a clean right hand early in that round. And Donald fighting in a way we've rarely seen him before, going after Johnson, effective at the end of the round, perhaps winning the round because of that barrage.
We're in the 6th round, scheduled for 12. This heavyweight elimination bout between Larry Donald and Kirk Johnson. And according to CompuBox, Donald landed 18 of 49 total punches in the last round, 15 of 35 jabs. Johnson now starting to bring his jab upstairs.
Punch that he's still shooting for.
Kirk Johnson settling in, now starting to unleash the overhand right. Manny Stewart pointed it out. It's what he's been setting up for all night long.
So far, the difference in the fight may be that Johnson is willing to throw the right, and Donald has been unwilling to throw.
Donald is playing it safe. He's operating out strictly off of his left jab, and it still made it a competitive fight. But it doesn't take as big a risk of being hit when he's shooting a jab as compared to if he would throw a right hand on left hook. And at this stage, as a result of that, Kirk Johnson is winning the fight. But it still looks as if Donald wanted to step it up. It could possibly turn and go in his direction.
And talking about Larry Donald, we saw that same reluctance to unleash the right hand against Obed Sullivan.
I think he underestimated Sullivan. He wasn't prepared. But for this fight here, looking at both guys' eyes, they are really prepared and very, very intense and focused on this fight here.
Johnson left himself wide open that time, missing a looping right hand.
But instead of counting with an uppercut or something, Donald was very content to just basically shoot the jab. And to make him look bad, but not to really take advantage of him and try to hurt or attack him. But I have to point out that Kirk is getting closer and closer with those right hands now. The missiles are getting a little bit closer now that Donald's timing and judgment is off as he's turned.
All right, 6 rounds are in the books, but still to come, Hector Camacho Jr. looking to take a step up in competition, battling Jesse James Leija in a junior welterweight bout. We'll see if it's truly junior time in his hometown. A gorgeous full moon up above us.
The moon over Brooklyn.
You're doing good. Don't go to sleep up there. Don't let the shit get too good to you. You stay there, okay? You're looking great. You're looking great.
Watch your heads, watch your heads. Stop, both guys, okay, just watch your heads, both guys, you're okay, let's go.
Let's bring in Harold Letterman to see how he has it scored through 6. Harold?
Okay, Fred, 59-55, 5 rounds to 1, Kirk Johnson. I thought Kirk Johnson still won the 4th round with that left jab. In the 5th round, Larry Donald had his best round of the fight, landed some terrific hard right hands, but Kirk Johnson started to work the jab to the body, the right over the top, and easily captured round 6. 5-1, Kirk Johnson, but he's starting to swell.
I have the same score.
Harold, you talked about this time and time again. It just seems that Johnson is landing the harder punches and definitely more power shots as he attacks the midsection right there again.
And also he presents a picture of someone who is trying a little harder.
Yes. He seemed to want it a lot more, and he's reaching out to try to take it. He's not trying to just win it. He's taking this fight. He's going to try to make himself a strong contender to fight for that heavyweight championship fight.
The overhand right lands for Kirk Johnson.
And the body position and balance of Donald is very good. He's in position to take advantage of those right-hand shots to the body that are coming in consistently. And he has a great left jab, but he has not added to the jab. And it's not because he's out of position. That once again, he let the guy miss, but he still could have came back with a 1-2.
Here's a guy 240 pounds or so, and his best weapon is a left jab.
His only weapon tonight is a left jab, and it's got him in this fight still.
Power shots exchanged between Kirk Johnson and Larry Donald here in the 7th round.
Good job, both guys. Yeah, 5 seconds, fellas. 3 seconds.
Kirk Johnson sticking to his plan. Coney Island isn't known just for its amusement parks. Right down the street, there you see Nathan's world-famous Frankfurters. They say the hot dog was invented here on Coney Island.
Right after the Civil War. Now, Manny, a minute. You thought there was no such place as Coney Island, that it was just a hot dog.
It was just a hot dog is all I thought of it. Since I've been here, I can't even find the hot dog since I've been here. I could not believe there really was a place in Coney Island.
We'll take you down to Nathan's right after the show.
And I like Coney Island hot dogs.
Jab and come out, jab and come out. Jab and stay right hand, okay, like we did. Okay, come on. Take your time, baby.
Well, I went down to Nathan's earlier, and they've got fried frog legs on their menu now, as well as hot dogs.
I think I'll pass.
Wipe it up, wait. No, stop. Time in, let's go.
As we start the 8th round, according to CompuBot, 65 of Donald's 87 connects have been jabbed. Not surprising. Hasn't really displayed.
He came back with a counter uppercut that time, which is what he should have been doing earlier.
Donald showing some fire.
He's in such beautiful position to fire that right hand so often that he doesn't shoot it enough. Because Kirk is very predictable in this fight. And Donald is too, I guess. He's going to jab. That's right. He's going to shoot the jab and shoot another jab.
No punches. Step back. We're pushing our break. Come on.
That is big right hand from Kirk Johnson.
If Donald would throw a straight right hand after those jabs, he would have something going for himself, but he will not throw the right hand.
At the place where Kirk Johnson is standing, the canvas has bellied up, almost opening like a parachute. Johnson almost tripped on it. It was a problem earlier than this, before this fight in some prelims, and it's going to have to be adjusted between rounds.
As a matter of fact, the referee may have to pretty much stand in that spot over there a lot more to prevent the fighters from getting over there.
No punches, no punches, no pushing.
Could the hard body shots from Kirk Johnson be starting to have an effect on Larry Donald, slowing him down just a bit?
They definitely could.
Johnson connects with a serious left hook upstairs to the head of Larry Donald. Comes back with an overhand right.
Stop! No punches.
There were some early knockouts in the prelims before we started our show, but nobody can be complaining about the action here in our open.
And the
You do fine. Look here. Yeah, but you stand in front of him too long, Kirk. You stand and you try to bomb
and
him.
the referee, Jimmy Santa, has gone over to the commission to tell them about that problem with the canvas, but I don't see anybody even attempting to do anything about it. Along with the small ring, that's strike 2 for the New York Commission tonight, although the responsibility of the ring is on the promoter.
This is the round you're waiting for, man.
You're going down the stretch, man. You gotta want it, man. Let it hang out,
Don't
man.
say shit.
Come on. Come on. Here we go, baby. Come on, you're doing good. Don't get careless now. Come on.
Time. Neutral corners. Neutral. No, time. Neutral corners. Time. Pull it.
Referee Jimmy Santa has called time as they're attempting once again to stretch the canvas on the ring taut.
Okay. Time in. Let's go. Box. Come on, guys. Box. Time in.
Give Santa credit for spotting the problem and taking care of it as soon as he could. Johnson trying to make use of what little space he has inside the ring. And now box. Stay on the outside.
Donald's corner told him that these are the rounds that he has to pick it up if he intends to win this fight. And he's shown that he's in such position, and it evidently is not that exhausted compared to what I thought he would be with all those body shots he's been hit with. But nevertheless, he still won't release the trigger. And right there was a perfect example. He held on the right hand as it came. He was in perfect position to shoot a counter right hand or uppercut, and he hesitated and elected to just follow Kirk around the ring and to land an occasional jab.
Well, after a lifetime of fighting cautiously in boxing, even though his mind is telling him that I have to do it, he's not able to do it, it seems.
That's usually what you say for an old fighter, but not for him.
Johnson seems to be totally unconcerned with any counter punches from Donald's right hand. Lunging in hard when he throws his right hand.
Because even if he, misses a punch, it lands it, he's not going to have to pay for it too much. And now's another perfect time for Donald to shoot that right hand straight across the shoulder. notice also between most every round, Kirk Johnson asks his corner, did I win that round? So this means a lot to him, and he's prepared to win it on a decision or knockout. Once again, it was a position to counter.
Time. Neutral corners. Time.
Johnson's mouthpiece came out of his mouth, so Jimmy Santa finding an appropriate moment to replace it.
Time in.
The script remains the same as we wrap up the 9th round. This is an elimination bout between Johnson and Donald. We talked about it, Larry, at the top of the telecast. Could one of these fighters, do they have what it takes to be a strong force in the heavyweight division?
Well, there are a number of young heavyweights. We saw that Hasim Rahman asserted their attempts to push the old-timers out. Vladimir Klitschko is considered by many people to be the best of the young heavyweights. Kirk Johnson, Lance Whitaker, David Tua still in there, and John Ruiz.
In and out, jab, in and out, right hand, in and out, hook, in and out, okay? Come on.
Thanks to what he's telling you.
Okay? Come on, baby. Just 10 coming up.
Come on now. Come on now.
Big round. Look at him, he's fucking tired.
Set it up. Bring it home.
I have a feeling that
Get out. Okay.
Donald is going to pick up the pace a little bit, and the fight's going to be a little bit more exciting possibly in the next few rounds than it has been in the previous rounds.
9 rounds in the books. Let's bring in Harold Letterman.
Okay, 8 rounds to 1. 89-82, Kirk Johnson. You can't take it away from him. He's the busy guy, backing up, doing all the punching. Fred, I got to tell you something. I got a theory on this fight. My theory is that Larry Donald hurt his right hand somewhere along the line. He cocks it, he sets it up, and he doesn't throw it. I don't know. I may be wrong, but he fights like a guy that hurt his right hand.
I don't think he's good enough to hurt it.
That's what I was going to say. How did he hurt it?
He may have hit his left hand. And right now, if he would keep that up and take advantage of every time that Kirk throws that right hand, he could possibly make this fight very close and interesting going down the stretch.
I have the same score as Harold, but I suspect it's probably a little closer than that. And the official cards.
Good right hand lead. Because Kirk was looking for the systematic jab, but he pushed the right hand lead out instead.
It would appear to the naked eye that Larry Donald is getting in the danger zone in terms of needing a knockout to win the fight.
That's correct.
But he's never had a knockout past the 9th round. And he's never been in with the kind of competition outside of Riddick Bowe as Kirk Johnson.
And Larry Donald is showing a good fight, not necessarily fighting him, but I think that he's going to pick it up a little bit more as this round goes on and the rest of the rounds. And the right hand lead is his key punch if he would shoot it more.
But he shoots it like a jab, that lead right hand.
Yes.
It's not a big punch.
No, but it would be effective, though. It would pretty much, I think, get cut off track where he can maybe land other punches.
Stop.
The right hand lead is a very effective puncher late in the fight when the fighter's tired. Ali was a master at it.
Donald's trainer, Aaron Snowell, told us yesterday in our fighter meetings that the world is waiting to see the real Larry Donald, that his full arsenal will be on display.
We may be still waiting after the night because he hasn't shown it still. He's shown what he's capable of doing possibly. And looking at Kirk Johnson's right eye, it looked very bad at this point in time.
It's starting to swell up. Although Johnson throws a looping right hand, Donald tried to counter.
But okay, let's go. 5 seconds, 3 seconds. Let's go. Come on.
Donald suffered a cut as a result of a butt.
All right, give me that towel down there. All right, hey, Larry, look. All you got to do is punch. You get hit like that.
It's fine.
I'm not staying busy, okay? Stay busy. Stay busy. You hit him with that right hand, all you got to do is come back with your left foot. All right, you got him. All you got to do is punch at him, Larry. Huh? We talked about this. Come on now. You're in the 11th round. We're in the...
Come on, baby. Come on. Get your keep your
A commissioned doctor is in the corner of
you got a 5-5-5. Come on, baby.
Johnson.
Yes. But it's getting close now.
We can't be sure of why.
Brother, that right hand back with your left foot. It's simple.
Perhaps because his right eye is at half mast. But he seems to have clear vision.
And that's due to the steady work of the jab of Larry Donald. Incidentally, this is the first time in Johnson's career that he's fought past the 10th round. Still seems to have gas left in the tank. The corner of Larry Donald seems to have done a pretty good job of containing the cut. Right now, Larry Donald needs to dig deep. He may not have it.
Well, his corners did their job, and his promoter, Don King, has did his job of keeping him up in the range. And the only thing he has to do is to do just a little bit. And he can make this fight very close still, even though I think he's too far behind on points. But he can make a better showing for himself by merely throwing his right hand.
It's been a valiant effort from Kirk Johnson. Larry Donald doing what he can. Neither fighter taking rounds off, hanging around towards the ropes or sprinting away. It's been pretty much toe-to-toe in the center of a small ring. We told you earlier, 16 feet 3 inches is all. But it hasn't seemed to have had a major effect on these two heavyweights. All right, Larry, let's take a look at the headbutt that cut Larry Donald here in the 10th round.
Not serious enough. Both fighters coming forward. Accidental.
All in here, you come out the winner, you knock him out. If you let that right hand go, man, you ain't punching, man. You're okay. Everything's fine, man. Larry, don't be waiting on you.
And you got to use your legs, Kirk. You're getting wide-legged up there. Come on, use your legs. You're in and out. This boy can't touch you if you're moving. Come on, baby. Come on. This is the last round.
Good.
Okay, close it up.
All right, we need it. You got to knock him out now. Put his...
He coming with it, okay? He coming with it. Let's go. Come on, get all you want this fight. Let Doc say.
Aaron Snoll, Larry Donald's trainer, speaks the truth. tells Donald he needs a knockout. Donald got a knockdown in his last fight to avoid a defeat. Does he have it in him?
You know, it's got to be very frustrating for the people involved with Larry Donald to be this close, one fight from being able to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world.
You know, but Emmanuel,
he's not trying. He's not even putting.
Well, he's been maneuvered into this position by avoiding serious competition. And if you haven't fought serious competition, what happens when you finally come up against it? This is what happens.
But he's not being beaten because of lack of talent. The condition is right there. Just he's not throwing punches. I thought he would have been outclassed a lot more than this. I'll be honest with you. But the fact that he's right there and still in the mix, showing that he's capable of doing it. He's not that tired. His timing is there, but it's just that he's not punching.
Quickly, guys, let's bring in Harold Letterman. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Fred, 9 rounds to 2, 108, 101, Kirk Johnson. Just like Emmanuel Stewart said, Kirk Johnson is winning this fight because he's the busier guy. Larry Donald can't win because he ain't punching. That's all there is to it. Very simple. Larry gets rounds 5 and 10 when he started to throw the right hand, landed some nice right hands in both those rounds. Other than that, it's all Kirk Johnson.
Here's the main difference in the fight right here from CompuBox. Johnson has landed 70 of 211 power shots. Donald 32 of 132 for 24%. Harder, stronger punches from Kirk Johnson.
No punches, fellas, no punches. Stop! No punches, step back.
Donald now fighting with the immediate sense of urgency that has been missing for most of the fight. But most likely it's too late.
The urgency that Larry Merchant was trying to get him to commit to doing the post-fight interviews yesterday. and then on 5 occasions he avoided committing to it.
Well, he's been afraid to commit since Riddick Bowe, but he's given his best effort here tonight.
Two fighters, one last fight to see if they can get a shot at a heavyweight title.
Hard-fought heavyweight fight. Both fighters defending themselves well. Johnson taking more chances.
And taking more chances and winning the fight.
Let's take a look at the final punch stat numbers for this elimination heavyweight bout between Kirk Johnson and Larry Donald. Both fighters throwing about the same amount of punches. Johnson landing 26 more. But the difference was in the type of punch. And here you see the total power punches. We talked about it. Johnson landing more than twice what Kirk Donald threw, and throwing almost 70 more. Larry Donald had the opportunity over and over again to unload that right hand, but came very sparingly.
It ain't in him, guys. That's not who he is. You throw big punches, you leave yourself vulnerable. He's never wanted to leave himself vulnerable. That's why he's never been knocked down. That's why he's never made the big impression as a big man.
Very well put, Larry Merchant.
right, let's send it up to ring announcer Michael Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Tommy Kazmarek scores the bout 116 to 112. Oscar Perez scores it 115 to 113, and Fred Yusi has it 118 to 110. All for the winner by unanimous decision. Now the #1 ranked WBA heavyweight, Kirk Johnson.
As we thought, there might be a closer card than we had it, but it was unanimous and it was clear. And Kirk Johnson, at the age of 29, former Canadian Olympian, still undefeated, and now in line, at least theoretically, to get a shot at the winner of the third Holyfield Ruiz winner, presumably sometimes in the next 10 months to a year. Okay,
Fred. All right, unfortunately, we do not have time to speak to the winner, Kirk Johnson. Still to come, though, a junior welterweight showdown between Hector Camacho Jr. and Jesse James Leija. Leija, 34 years old. He just turned 35 at midnight, 13 years older than Camacho Jr. He says his experience will help him. The younger Camacho, though, says at 32-0, he knows this is the biggest test of his career, but still, Leija will not be quick enough to withstand his power. All right, let's take a look now at some upcoming sports programming on HBO. Mark your calendars for these upcoming HBO shows. Monday, July 16th, catch the next edition of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, former boxer Gerald Harris, who wrongly served 8 years for a crime committed by his own brother. July 21st, welterweight king Shane Mosley takes on hard-punching Englishman Adrian Stone. Also, heavyweight Michael Grant returns to the ring, facing Jameel McCline. July 28th, TVKO pay-per-view brings you Roy Jones defending his light heavyweight titles against undefeated Julio Gonzalez. On August 4th, Boxing After Dark returns with Vladimir Klitschko taking on Charles Shuford. Also, a 122-pound title fight featuring Paulie Ayala